Hello, welcome. My name is Ian Aguilar. I'm the Small Business Development Coordinator here at AmPac Business Capital. We are going to be going over our loan application here. So, first thing that you'll see is the AmPac Business Capital Loan Submission Disclaimer. This is basically saying you understand that you are submitting an application, and it does not mean you will automatically be approved. You are going to be reviewed under this application. Here you will put your legal business name or operating company name, followed by your doing business as business name. So something I might have here is Ian Enterprises, and I'm doing business as Ian's Kitchen. Following on. Here you can provide additional business information, such as your physical business address. If you do not have a physical business address because you operate an e-commerce store or run your business from home, you can provide your residential address instead. Same with the city, state, and area code, phone number that we could reach you at. And if you have a website, you can apply it here. If you do not have a website for your business, there's an additional step for you later in the application. You can disclose whether or not you lease or own your establishment. If it doesn't apply to you, you can simply provide a non-applicable. If you do operate in multiple locations, simply click yes and provide the addresses of those locations here. Here you'll provide your EIN. DUNS number, you don't really need to worry about this. If it's applicable to you, you'll know about it. You can provide your date established, your structure. The one thing to note here is that AmPac does not provide funding to nonprofits. The jobs that you've created or existing within the business, make sure that you as the owner count yourself in this process. Here you can disclose any other federal assistance funds, simply to provide yes or no. If your business has received funding from other sources, please disclose that here. You're going to provide the name of the lender, what it was for, the amount that you originally loaned out, if it's current or behind, and the monthly payment that you conduct through that loan. If you plan to export your business's services or products, you're going to provide an estimated total of the sales here that will be supported by this loan. If your business has any affiliate, that means that there is ownership of 20% or more of this business or the owner, such as if the owner of the business owns 20% or more of another business, or a different business controls 20% or more of this business. And then you're going to disclose if the business in question or any of its affiliates, including owners, have ever filed or declared bankruptcy. And then same goes for the business in question or any of its affiliates or owners has ever been involved with a lawsuit. Here you're going to provide information about any controlling members of the business. So anyone who has 20% or more ownership of the business will be providing their information here. This will be the same for every owner. You're going to provide your name, an email to contact you at, as well as a phone number, date of birth, your social security number, your status of race, ethnicity, citizenship, and veteran status, as well as your marriage status. You're going to provide the address of the owner. If you provided a business that does not have a physical address, this should match the owner's address. This will go over the eligibility of individual owners. Again, this has to be done for every owner who owns 20% or more of the business. Have you ever defaulted on government debt? Have you ever filed for bankruptcy? Have you ever been involved with a lawsuit? And have you ever been arrested? Are you currently or have you ever been delinquent on any obligation to pay child support? Our current minimum FICO score is 640. As long as there are no accounts that are past due or in default for the last 2 years, we are able to work with lower scores. And here you are just certifying or authorizing that your information is true and correct. This is following up on the loan information at the beginning of the application. You're disclosing how much you are requesting based to the best of your knowledge, as well as the purpose for the funds, whether it be debt refinance, purchasing equipment, purchasing inventory, purchasing commercial real estate, tenant improvements or renovations, or working capital and startup costs. This is answering additional information about the business as a whole. So is it a franchise? Yes or no? How much cash is in hand or in the bank for the business? Does your business currently have a business plan and/or cash flow projections? Yes or no? Cash flow projections are going to be needed to be on a 3-year basis divided by months, so totaling for a 36-month total of business revenue and expenses. Be sure to provide any assumptions that were made in the creation of those cash flow projections, such as market research, and other research that was conducted to produce said projection. If you are asking for working capital, you're going to disclose what the purpose of that working capital is for, whether it be for inventory, whether it be for covering payroll or overhead expenses. You're going to disclose the reasoning here. Has the small business applicant or any of its affiliates or owners ever applied for a SBA loan or other federal assistance funds? Here you're going to disclose if you have submitted an application with a different CDC or lender under an SBA program before. Here the application is going to ask if there's any additional services that may be needed, such as remote work assistance or marketing. And then here we're just asking about how you got into contact with AmPac, whether it be through a friend, the SBA website, another CDC lender. However you got connected to AmPac, please disclose it here. And then you'll have an additional chance to review before submitting this portion of your application. Now for this portion of the application, we're going to be going over the documents that are needed to be submitted to complete the application for pre-qualification purposes. The AmPac Business Questionnaire is needed if your business does not have a website that provides sufficient information about the business and its history. Filling in your business name, entity type, your date of formation, the controlling interests of your business, so whoever owns and how much they own, what your services are, how you generate your revenue, any competitors that you have, top 3 customers, basically all this information that should be provided. Moving on, we're going to be going over the business balance sheet in brief. Basically, this is going to be a financial statement that documents how much your business has in assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. You're always going to make this out from the most recently completed month. In this case, we're here filming in September. You're going to be completing this for the date of August 31st, 2023. So it'll always be from January 1st of the most recent year or December 31st of the recently completed year. In this case, December 31st, 2022, all the way up until the most recently completed month. Next, we're going to be going over business bank statements. If your business does not have its own bank account, I highly recommend that you set this up. It makes things way easier for bookkeeping purposes and making sure that you're writing off the proper items on your tax returns. We're going to be going over a business debt schedule. This should be made to match the liabilities listed on your business balance sheet, also matching the date. So from December 31st until August 31st, as we are filming this in September, you're going to make sure that you fill it out for the most recently completed month. Business profit and loss statement. This is going to be similar to the business balance sheet. However, you're going to be accounting for your activity during the year up until the most recently completed month. So going over revenues, expenses, accounting for what those expenses are, and then any additional income that your business has made from outside sources, and listing if it's a profit or loss on the sheet as well. Here you're going to be filing your business tax returns, whether you be a 1040 with a Schedule C, an 1120, S or C Corp, as well as a 1065 for partnerships. You're going to provide, if you can, 3 most recent years of tax returns. If you're a startup, in place of these, you're going to be writing financial projections. Here's basic information on the owner identification. So anyone who has 20% or more ownership of the company is going to provide their driver's license or a passport or any other form of official government ID. Again, for any owner who has 20% or more ownership of the company, you're going to provide 3 most recent months of personal bank statements, as well as owners are going to provide a personal financial statement or an SBA Form 413. This gives the lender authorization to do a hard pull on the credit score of each individual applicant. Everyone who has listed as an owner must submit to a hard credit score check as part of the loan application process. Lastly, again, for all owners who have 20% or more interest in the business, you're going to provide personal tax returns, most recent 3 years. In this case, we are filming in 2023, so it'll be 2020, 21, and 22 that you will need to provide. If you have not filed 22s, you're going to provide a copy of the extension. Last but not least, you're going to provide a statement that discloses the purpose of the funding that you are going to receive through this loan potentially, and disclosing anything that might be involved with a project, whether it be equipment, working capital. If it's working capital, disclosing what it's for, such as payroll, you're going to disclose who you're planning to hire specifically and how much they're going to be paid. Basically breaking down everything that you're going to be doing with the money provided via funding. And this concludes the pre-qualification process for all of our loan products here at AmPac Business Capital. Feel free to apply at our website, and thank you for watching.